All right, so one of the biggest challenge areas that players have is when they get into bunkers and trying to hit a shot that's going to give them a chance to be able to get that golf ball onto the green. So today I want to talk about 5 tips that are going to help you become a better bunker player. So the first thing is, we're going to assume that you already know that you're supposed to hit the sand first. You're supposed to hit the sand and then you hit the ball. So we're going to go beyond that, because I think a lot of people take that to heart and say, all right, I'm going to hit the sand, but they're not doing some things that are going to help them hit better bunker shots. So tip number 1 is going to come down to, we first need to understand that we have to get the ball to go up in the air. Most bunker shots, you're hitting up over some sort of lip. You need the ball to come out, and then you need it to land softly, okay? You need it to land softly so it can hold onto the green. So when you're doing this, we need to do things that promote loft. So the first thing is, you need to select a club that will work for you. Now, I use my 60 degree a lot from bunkers, okay? If I ever needed one that's going to go a little bit lower and run out, maybe I've got a ton of green and not such a super high lip, then I might go with my 55 degree wedge. But in most scenarios, I'm going with my 60 degree wedge. Now, the other thing then that I have to do is, if I'm going to hit a bunker shot, okay, I need to get the ball positioned by my front foot, and it needs to be way up there, okay? Getting the ball to the front foot lets us come in, it lets us promote hitting that golf ball higher, which is what we are trying to do. So unless you were trying to do something crazy, you might move it back a little bit, but most of the times we're playing it to get it up in the air. So I like to get that ball forward. That's going to help us hit this ball up higher in the air. All right, and now one of the big secrets about bunkers, and this is why you want to get a good sand wedge. So I play, let me show you this. I play my 60 degree. You can see how wide the sole is. I have a lot of bounce on my wedge, okay? I have a lot of bounce. It's actually this rounded angle that we're looking at. And the reason for that is bounce is what makes the club go through the sand. If I play my bunker shots with the leading edge, what happens is I will dig, okay? The club will start to dig. It doesn't like to go through the sand, okay? Now, when we do this, we want to make sure we're using that bounce. So we have to do a couple of things. One, we've got to set up with the face way open. So you can see that I am getting that club face pretty much vertical up to the sky. Now, when I do that, I do have to get a little farther away from the ball so I don't hit the hosel. So I'm getting a little farther away. That means I'm going to kind of get lower down to the ball so I can still reach it. And then this is the real important one. This is the one that nobody does, that they really should, and really good bunker players do this. When I go back, using my left hand, I am going to open the face even more. So you can see as I go back, look at that club face pointing up at the sky. You know, in a full swing, you're trying to keep it pointed more towards the ball. Here, I'm opening it up to the sky. And what that does is, I'm doing that by using my left wrist. So you can actually see I've got some cup in my left wrist. If I was wearing a glove, the logo of the glove would be pointing up. And what I'm going to do is open it up and then just let that club come in down to the ground and to the sand where it is still looking up, okay? If I do that, okay, what will happen is the ball comes out nice and soft, nice and high. You can see that ball stopped on a dime, and that club is going to go gliding through the sand, and it's not going to dig. So what's nice about that is, you know, there's a lot of talk about how far behind the ball should I hit with the bunker shot, things like that. I can hit, you know, ½ inch behind. I could hit maybe 2 inches behind. if I'm exposing the bounce and using the bounce, you're still going to get good shots. You can see I've got 3 shots there that are all really close together, and I hit that one pretty good. The one before it was pretty good, but I had one of those in there that was pretty chunky. I hit it about maybe 2 inches behind it. Still turns out good because we're using the wedge properly. That helps us get the ball out of the bunkers. Now, tip number 3 is going to be, I need to get set up with my weight on my lead leg, okay? This motion is going to be pretty much upper body dominant. We can't be moving our feet around in the sand. If I'm doing that, I'm going to be sliding all over the place, right? So we need to make sure that we get our weight set on our front foot, and then I'm going to leave it there. If I do that, it will make it much more precise where I'm going into the sand. Not that we really need it to be super precise, but we need to be within an inch or 2 of our landing point in the sand. So if I'm moving my weight back and forth and then I start slipping in the sand, all of a sudden, I'm not gonna be able to hit that spot in the sand right where I'd want to. So the stroke really is gonna feel more like, once I get my weight set, I like to feel like this lead knee is bent. And once I do that, I really feel my upper body is doing most of the work. You're gonna see my upper body turn, tries to face where I'm going, and that's gonna help make this a lot more consistent shot for you. So weight forward, upper body turns. Even that one, I didn't hit it perfect, but I was close enough. We got a pretty good shot out of it. All right, so tip number 4 is control your tempo. I see too many times people come into the bunker and they are going to hit it, and they know they have to hit the sand, and that's going to slow them down a little bit, and you're making a little bit longer swing than you would for this normal length shot. If I was just in the grass, I'd maybe swing, maybe half the distance of what I'm going to do, but that doesn't mean that I need to go back and swing really hard at it. Unless I had some sort of crazy plugged lie, I might do that, but I need to control my tempo as I'm making this stroke. If I do everything correctly, that club is going to glide through the sand, and if I have good tempo, I'm going to be able to better control my distance, but I'm also going to be better able to deliver the club into the sand the way I want to. So if we want to hit one a little bit farther, instead of swinging faster, I'm going to keep a good tempo, but I'll swing a little bit longer. I also might just change a little bit how I'm approaching, try to feel like I take maybe just a touch less sand, but I'm still gonna take sand. And then, we just kind of go from there. But I think for your basic shots, you're gonna find that you have enough for whatever you're trying to do. And it really comes down to having a good 1-2 tempo. And if we're doing everything else right, we're gonna be okay. So that's gonna be it. The other thing is controlling the length of your swing. Make sure it's continuing to go through. Keep it going through the sand. That's what helps you when you keep it smooth. If you swing too fast, you're gonna swing into the sand and you're gonna wanna stop because you're gonna hit the ball too far. If you hit it good, you automatically shut down, and that can be a big issue that people have in the sand. So a good drill is just get in the sand and make some swings where you're just gently slapping the sand, feeling that club continue to move. That's gonna really help you. All right, number 5, and this one's really, really important. We have to manage our expectations. So you can see here's my target. I would be really, really happy with these 4 shots. But you got to remember, this is a pretty basic bunker shot that I was hitting. You're not going to run into that situation a whole lot. You're going to be having a lot of challenging lies, different footings, different lengths, things like that. And so you have to remember, your goal is to get the ball out onto the green. If you have a look at a 1-putt, that's great. But if you have 2 putts, you're doing pretty good. The best players in the world don't get up and down out of bunkers nearly as much as you'd think, and they practice them all the time. They're doing around 50%. So we can do it where we're getting out of a bunker, getting onto the green. You are going to be exceeding what most people do. And then from there, if you want to start trying to tighten it up with a lot of practice, by all means go ahead. But it does take that practice. But if you use these tips, you really are going to start understanding what you can and can't do out of a bunker, and you're going to have a better plan. So I like what I did there, but doing it 4 times, that's not enough. We got to go do it some more. So good luck with it. Click that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber already, and leave us a comment down below. What do you think of the tips and how are they working for you? All right, thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you in the next one.